Yo guys, how is it going? And welcome back to the final episode here for My Team Career Mode on F1 22. We finally made it. Round 22 of 22 is upon us, and at the moment our mission for the final episode is to probably get points. I would say we've only managed to score 2 points, had 2-point finishes, and we currently have a total of 22. Literally 4 points behind Pierre Gasly, who's actually our rival at the moment as well. If you haven't seen any of the previous episodes, go check them out. I will leave a link in the description as always. And as you can see as well, we've got 3 new upgrades, 2 aerodynamic upgrades and a powertrain upgrade as well. So fingers crossed this is going to be our time to get some more points before the season ends, because that would just be the icing on the cake of what's been a very difficult season. And one where I have made a lot of mistakes, but nonetheless, I hope you guys have been enjoying it just as much as I have. And like I said, next year I think we are going to do a shorter calendar, like a 10 race calendar. We'll customize it as well, so we'll do the tracks that I like as well. So I think that'll be much more entertaining for you guys as well as me. So as you can see, going through the practice programs once again, the quick practice. And now we nearly have a total of 4,000 resource points towards the end of this season. So yeah, obviously this isn't going to really apply to anything now, but nonetheless, like I said, I did want to play this in my free time, so still trying to get those resource points in as much as we can. So yeah, the final episode is among us, and obviously we've got the new Abu Dhabi layout as well. Abu Dhabi, a track I've never really liked on the F1 game in real life and on the game. It's very tight, twisty, and just a bit boring at times as well, but we are now the fifth worst car, in the R&D, so hopefully that's a sign of things to come. Let's go to quali. So here we are then for the final qualifying session of the season, and yeah, it's going to be exciting. And like I said, the new Abu Dhabi layout is a little bit better, especially through the second chicane that they've removed down the back straight. It's a lot more flowing and a lot more fun. So yeah, here we go then for our first run in qualifying, and I've still not done many laps around the new Abu Dhabi circuit, so this is the first corner that has been reprogrammed. Now it's just a long left-hander, and this was the corner that I was struggling in the whole entire weekend. I didn't do it too bad that time, but I was really struggling to find the right line, and as you'll see in the race, it was sort of corner that I was really struggling at. So down the back straight, and once again into another braking zone. This corner has not changed at all. The very tight and twisty corner. Best opportunity, I would say, for an overtake in the race. Still now down the back straight, DRS. Once again, another good opportunity for some overtaking. And now this is the other corner that has been reprogrammed, which I do kind of like, but again, it's a lot more flowing and a lot more faster as well. But it is harder to make an overtake compared to the chicane that used to be there. And then all these corners have been opened up as well. You can take so much speed through this final sector. It's not been a bad of a lap actually so far either, considering this is the only... Well, I haven't done many laps around this place, and you can go flat out through there for that penultimate corner, as I found out as the weekend went on. So yeah, a little bit slower through that final sector, but a 126.2, and as you can see, we're going again for another run. And we are a couple of tenths down at the moment here, and just completely drove off the circuit there. And yeah, a bit of a silly mistake from me there. So at the moment, currently last, I believe, out of everyone who's still a lap time, but we've got a lot more pace to find. Like I said, we're just trying to dial into the circuit a little bit. And yeah, here we are again for our second run. So hopefully we can find a lot more time, and fingers crossed for the final episode. It would be nice to get out of Q1, but we've only managed that once this season in Mexico. But can we do it again here? We are nearly 4 tenths up as we now come to the end of the second lap, and taking a lot more speed through here, and now once again through here. A little bit hesitant, but like I said, through the race I found my line through there, and it was very, very fun, but we only improved by 2/10, which is not enough to, well, it's enough to improve our position, but not our time, but not our position, sorry. And we picked up body damage as well, so that's completely ruined our final run for the session. And unfortunately, I did try and drive out, but unfortunately it wasn't enough. The session ended, and that was pretty much that, unfortunately. So yeah, we had to end the session there, and Dan has actually made it through to Q2, so a great result there for the JJ Master Racing team on the final weekend. Dan doing us justice there. And yeah, we've just had a bit of a stinker there in qualifying, so bit of a shame. Gasly still leads the way in the rivalry as well. And yeah, so this is it then, the final race of this career mode. And like I said, can we get points? It would be so good to, you know, continue the points that we've got throughout the season, but we know it's going to be difficult. And I'm just going to send it because this race is the final one, so let's go.
So here we are, ready to go racing for one final time this year. Another season of victories, controversies and rivalries lies in our wake. And just one challenge remains, here in the United Arab Emirates, on a circuit that made its spectacular debut back in 2009. Welcome to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We have 16 corners here at Yas Marina Circuit, 7 to the right and 9 to the left. It's a total lap distance of 3.28 miles, 2 long straights and overtaking opportunities throughout the lap. We expect average speeds of around 123 miles per hour. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. It's Sergio Perez on pole today, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hamilton, Verstappen, Carlos Sainz and Norris, Ricciardo, Ocon, Gasly and Kevin Magnussen, Tsunoda, Russell, Alex Albon and Ticktum, Stroll, Bottas, Mick Schumacher and Fernando Alonso. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Joe, Vettel, Latifi and James. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today. Can we begin by having a chat about Charles Leclerc? They've had a fantastic campaign, a wonderful year. They come into this weekend's Grand Prix as a fully deserving champion.
I agree it's been a truly impressive season, but championship or no, I don't think they'll be gently cruising around to the finish line. In fact, with points no longer a concern, there's a lot less to risk, so we may even see a more aggressive approach.
Final race is upon us then, under the sunlight for this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We're going to go soft to medium strategy, and here we go for one last time on this game for this career mode.
So here we go then with the formation lap right here in Abu Dhabi. Around 50,000 spectators are all in the stands today, all hoping to see some fantastic racing. We're almost ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
That has got to be the funniest thing I've ever seen in this game. The Williams has just spun it into his grid spot, and he's not even on the grid. He's lining up sideways on the grid, but 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. And Latifi has actually had to start sideways. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen, but nonetheless, it was an absolute rubbish start from us as we now fly down the inside. And we had to cut the corner there slightly because otherwise I was going to get taken out. Well, we've made a few positions into turn 1 there. Now through turn 2, now turn 3, flat out right-hander. But that, honestly, that is so funny. I don't know if that's happened to anyone else. But now down the inside, into turn 4, the new reprogrammed hairpin. And we've gained about three or four positions there. So a nice move there. And now Stroll trying to come back at us now down the back straight. There's a whole cluster of cars up ahead as well. absolute scenes here at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Stroll and the Alfa Romeo trying to go around the outside. I brake later on the brakes and trying to go up the inside of the Williams there, but the Alpine just up ahead, I thought I was going to crash into it, so I had to really slam on the brakes and eventually stop on the apex. But now we're right up behind Alexander Albon here in the DRS. Sorry, no DRS yet, in the slipstream I meant. And now trying to go around the outside through the new reprogrammed hairpin. Trying to keep our foot in there. We run a little bit wide, and there's Bottas now trying to go around the outside of us as well, but we managed to hold on to that position there through the final sector. So yeah, crazy first opening lap there, quite action packed. And now we start lap 2 of this Grand Prix, and now Albon, sorry, no, that's Ocon and Magnussen having a little look, and Albon trying to have a little look as well as Bottas throws it down the inside. I had no idea he was even there with Bottas, so looking very feisty. And as I said, I felt like I was very, I don't know if the AI really got into that corner, but I did feel like that was the weakest part for me in this race. So Bottas now trying to go around the outside once again. We say go to that and close the door once again, and now the squabbling up ahead has made these guys vulnerable, and now we are actually turning defense into an attack. So Albon up next. Now Ocon, after all the squabbling he was doing with Magnussen, has already cost himself time round the outside through the hairpin, and well, Ocon came very close to touching me there, as Albon has also got past him as well. So Ocon's had an absolute misery there, as we are now up into P12 then. So we are just on the fringes of points, so we're now in DRS as well behind Kevin Magnussen. So it's looking very, very nice at the start of this Grand Prix. And near on lap 3, or halfway through the end of lap 3, we've got more squabbling going on. George Russell, Ricciardo, and I think that might be Schumacher, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no, sorry, it's Magnussen. It is Magnussen. So Magnussen's really up the pace here. He's well inside the points, and now Russell and Ricciardo having a squabble here. I'm looking behind these guys, trying to find a way through, as Ricciardo and George go side by side through the exit, and we've lost a little bit of underbody damage. I also did pick up front wing damage earlier, by the way, for the contact I had with the Alpine, but now we're trying to go around the outside of George and Ricciardo as well for a points paying position. We go round the outside once again. The AI do like the inside line through that corner, but you can just take so much more speed around the outside, and we've got Ricciardo as we still go side by side. We're just about ahead, but Ricciardo breaks later, and he is able to get ahead of us there as we now start lap 5. What a start to this final episode. This has been absolutely brilliant now, and now Ricciardo vulnerable to us once again. DRS, he hasn't got anyone ahead of him to slipstream or even have DRS on, and now we go around the outside into the chicane, and we go very, very wide, try and give Ricciardo as much space as possible. He tightens on the exit, he goes wide, and now that gives us the opportunity once again to get past, and we have kept hold of the DRS because we were behind him as we went over the activation point. So not too bad. And now coming into the final sector once again, end of lap 5, Ricciardo once again having another little look, and I think he had to back out on that one, or he pitted. I can't really remember what happened there. But now on lap 6, or the end of lap 6, coming into the pits for our one and only stop of this Grand Prix. Ongoing the medium tyres, they will go, and lots of action in the pits as well. So hopefully we don't lose too much time here. The team can do a nice final pit stop for me, and that would be absolutely lovely. But once again, the front right is slow, and I actually forgot as well, I did ask them to change my front wing as well, so that's going to cost us a little bit of time as we just rejoin ahead of the Alpine there. Good job for the ghosting system, otherwise we would have been completely blown up into the pits there. So yeah, with the front wing change, that's compromised our race a little bit, because now we're really going to have to hunt the guys down ahead, and hopefully we'll be able to make up some more positions like we were, because we were absolutely flying at the first half of that Grand Prix. And now, as you can see here on lap 8, for Stroll, Alonso, and I think it's a Williams as well, having a right old ding dong. And now this is really going to put us into the mix of this Grand Prix. And as you can see, we're right on the back of Stroll now, as we are about to start lap 9. And as you can see, there is a car who has stopped. I believe it might be an Alpine, if I'm not too mistaken, but nonetheless, I think it might be a Fernando Alonso. I'm not too sure, but we have just set a fast purple sector through the second sector on that lap. So once again, the pace is there, but we are struggling at the moment to get past Lance Stroll. He's got slipstream and DRS from Latifi as well, and our straight line speed hasn't been as good as it has been. But now we're right on the back of Lance Stroll here. Go for a late move through the final corner. That was audacious, and well, we got it slowed down in time, and as you can see, flew through that penultimate corner there to have an inside line on Stroll there. So a bit of a messy move, but nonetheless, like I said, it's the final race. We're not taking any prisoners now, but Lance Stroll is having none of that, and he's coming back at us into the chicane here, and we've gone massively wide onto the curb, and that was silly driving from me. I completely just went way too wide there, and that's put me under pressure from Guan Yu Zhou now behind us in the Alfa Romeo. So yeah, super frustrating there, and we were looking so good at the start of this race, but we now try and defend from Zhou. Tries to go around the outside, now he tries the inside line through the left-hander and isn't quite able to make it there, and now we've got a yellow flag as there's another car. I think that's Latifi who's made a mistake, or he's out of the Grand Prix. Nonetheless, he's brought us up into another position, and yeah, he has retired from the Grand Prix. Only 3 laps remaining now at this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and once again we're catching up to Stroll as we are finding a little bit of pace now. The cars ahead are starting to be a little bit slow as well, so these guys must have pitted maybe a little bit before us, because the tyre wear maybe now starting to come into play. And as you can see, we're still right up behind these guys here, and there's Yuki Tsunoda. Where on earth is Yuki Tsunoda going? Completely off the circuit. He got way up onto the marbles there, and that's another victim out in this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, P17, and this is now the final lap. I'm driving, I don't know where I'm driving to be honest, but it's a massive shame. P17, it could have been a lot more, but unfortunately not. It's P17 for the final race here on F1 at 22.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
That's it then, they've taken the win here as we wrap up another fantastic Formula One season. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again.
And there we go. Quite an eventful last race, it has to be said. And Dan Ticktum as well. P7 for the JJ Master Racing team. He was definitely better than me the entire weekend. 6 points for JJ Master Racing team. And that's going to help us a little bit in the Constructors. But not too much, because obviously I think we're still 10 points behind Alfa Romeo. And they still haven't scored. So bit of a shame there, but nonetheless, Charles Leclerc, as we saw in Brazil, world champion, 46 points ahead of Max Verstappen. We still finished the season in P15, and Dan has managed to get his way up into P19 in the driver's standings as well. Mick Schumacher jumped Vettel as well, or finished joint. I think it was 17th with Vettel, so that's nice to see. And there you go, we just missed out on beating Alfa Romeo there in the Constructors as well. So oh, there we go, guys. What an eventful last episode. Unfortunately, we lost the rivalry there with Pierre Gasly. I've lost Team Acclaim as well, but it doesn't matter. The season is finally over. So, oh, what a series. What a series it has been. And yeah, it's definitely been a roller coaster of a season, that's for damn sure. So Oh, don't even know what to say at the end of that. But there we go. Yeah, we finished the championship in P15. And yeah, we were just a few points off Alfa Romeo in the Constructors as well. So, a bit frustrating. But there we go. This is the car that has tried to give us what we wanted. But unfortunately, we weren't quite able to do as much as I wanted to. I definitely made far too many mistakes. And like I said, when I record, I just feel like I'm under pressure a lot of the time. But like I said, for next season we will bounce back. We will try and make the car a front running car straight away as well, so it'll make it a little bit more interesting straight away. And look at that replay of Latifi starting sideways. That is the funniest thing I've ever seen in this game. But nonetheless, guys, if you have enjoyed this video, if you have enjoyed this series, please do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you are new as well, because I will be doing many more videos on my channel, F1 related, and also other videos as well. But nonetheless, if you have enjoyed it, please do all that good stuff. And I will see you all again in the next one, guys. Take care.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind.